What is up? Welcome to Drinkin' Bros Sports College Hoops, episode 16, and our first episode of March Madness. Because we did the preview, and now we're one weekend deep. I am your host, Rob Fox, and as always, I am joined by Dan Regester, Calcutta King.
We still have hope. Thank you, Oregon.
Did you explain your
quack, quack, go Ducks?
Did you explain your Calcutta much to? Because I feel like Ross was like, "Fuck your Calcutta."
Yeah, no, I don't understand why. I just think he didn't understand Calcutta, so he immediately dismissed it. But I mean, he does like fucking fantasy baseball and like football and shit. So
right,
this is not nerdy.
But
every team goes up for auction. Whatever you buy the team for goes towards the pot. For every win that team gets, you get a percentage of the pot.
So it's kind of like a bracket on steroids, but you only pick some teams.
Yes.
Yeah.
You own,
and you have to
bid,
you have to buy those teams and you
bid
own
for
them.
the teams.
Yeah,
I had 4 teams. I took Illinois.
Okay.
Which took a large chunk of my stimulus.
Yep.
I took Oregon.
Okay.
I took West Virginia.
Okay.
And I took a shot on Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Who kind of got boned, blew a lead to Creighton, but whatever.
In true March fashion, probably the one I guess you expected, not the least from per se, but not necessarily a lot of value from, or I don't know. Oregon is the only one you got left. And they have a decent shot at...
I had Oregon in the Elite Eight. I'm a believer.
We both have Oregon in the Elite Eight.
I know.
I believe, yeah. So
And now that I saw that game against Iowa, I'm talking myself into not just getting my money back, but winning the whole damn thing.
Well, I assume everyone's bracket is pretty well and good busted. I'm not going to bother being like, there's only 2 perfect brackets left. And I don't give a fuck.
There's not.
I don't care. I don't care if there is, because those people were drawing it out of a fucking hat. So, like, you can't be like, oh, I can't believe they called it, because it's bullshit.
I mean, Coop's national champion's still available.
They are. But, the first weekend of March Madness, before we get into games in particular, you hated it. Or you hated, I guess, what happened, not because you're Calcutta, but just in general.
That was probably part of the reason. I mean,
The money was a part. That's
took a little
fair.
financial hit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could recover. We're bouncing back. It's like Bitcoin.
But
it always bounces back.
You only like first round upsets. You don't like Cinderellas going deep.
Yeah, right. So, like, it's cute. It's fun in games. It's entertaining when, you win the first round. But the deeper these shitty-ass teams go, the worse the games are going to be. Like, the meaningful games.
Right.
So, like, obviously, like, Abilene Christian made their season to beat Texas.
Yes.
I hammered UCLA.
Right. Because Abilene Christian isn't good.
No. They pride themselves on defense.
Yeah.
And
that's fine.
Pretty much if you can score more than 40 points against Abilene
You'll
Christian,
beat them.
Yeah.
Because they win 53-52 against Texas, I think.
It was a rock fight, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, you know what they say, like, defense travels, but you need to be at least competent at scoring points.
Yeah.
You don't need to be great. Like, if you do have an elite defense, you don't need, like, some awesome offense, but you need to be able to put up 65.
And listen, the best conference in basketball right now is the Pac-10. And, yes, I'm excluding Colorado because that's the Pac-12. Pac-10's undefeated.
The Pac-10 is incredible. All right, let's get into the weeds here. Biggest upsets. Oral Roberts, easily the biggest Cinderella. Took down a lower seed than Abilene Christian. Took down Ohio State, 15-2. I think that's like the 4th or 5th time that's happened. Maybe 6th, 7th, something like that. It's less than 10, I'm pretty sure. And then, even fucking crazier, just in the fact that they were able to win 2 games in a row against P5 teams, took down Florida in the second round.
We weren't really buying Florida, though, right? Like
I wasn't buying any of the SEC.
We were kind of like Virginia Tech might catch them in the first, and they almost did.
Yeah.
They
took a miracle shot to get to OT, yeah.
Got to OT. But, I mean, yeah, Florida's had such a weird year. Their best player, obviously, had a coma mid-season.
That'll always be weird.
Wasn't available. But, yeah, Oral Roberts just has 2 guys that can dump it in.
Not just dump it in, but dump it in from distance. Like, they chuck it.
Yeah.
How do you say his name? Asmus?
Atmos. Who could possibly?
Whatever the fuck. He's more accurate from 25 to 30 feet than he is from 20 feet. So if he's standing right at the line, he's less accurate than he is basically from the logo.
And they got some game experience against Arkansas.
They have played Arkansas before. They lost.
I think they had the lead for the first half.
They
if I'm not
chuck
mistaken.
threes.
Yeah.
They chuck fucking threes.
Well,
Now,
that's the thing. I think Ross was talking about going all in on Oral Roberts against Arkansas. It's like, I guess you can ride it all you want. But no,
just ride it.
there's gonna be a day where they just go ice cold and they go like 6 for 35.
Yeah. So we were here watching Oral Roberts and Ohio State live. I didn't get to watch much of the Florida game, but
I thought the Gators had it pretty in hand at one point. I'm like, all right,
yeah,
that's a cute story for Oral Roberts.
It was a worse match. Like the Gators are a worse matchup. We'll get into this a little bit, but like I said this at the time during that game when we were watching it live, and now like Oral Roberts, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country. Ohio State, pretty bad at three-point defense. So all it does take is for them to get hot. Oh, and Oral Roberts doesn't turn the ball over.
Can you turn your hat around and put on your little detective hat? Because I know you were woke to this. You were like, I think you were early on this, where you're talking about how the NCAA made matchups specifically for upsets.
Yes, I think the NCAA, with my detective hat on here, the NCAA, we talk about this all the time, or we talk about this several times. They goose the 12-5s almost every year. They put sketchy matchups in there, and you'll be like, because they want that upset. They always want some of those upsets because that's a fun upset, but it's a low-risk upset, because like you said, it doesn't necessarily deprive you of great late-round games.
Yeah, because, I mean, the 12 could just be an undervalued, like, mid-major. Most of the time it is.
Yeah.
Or in this, there's some teams here that are like kind of like a power 5 conference that just got hot late.
Right. I think they goosed it up and fucking down.
Honestly, the 4-13 matchups were pretty terrifying.
Yeah. So Abilene Christian, and I said this, I didn't pick them to win, but I said in the preview show, Abilene Christian is going to cover because this was another goosed fucking matchup where you can first off, you can never devalue the in-state matchup. The in-state matchups fuck with the team that is better every fucking time because then you have a little brother situation where Abilene Christian or
unfortunately, Texas didn't punch up to their big brother Abilene Christian.
Yes, Abilene Christian is the big
flagship program of Texas. Clearly, not counting Baylor outside of Waco.
But then you had who the fuck was the other one?
Ohio won.
Well, Ohio,
the first round,
Virginia was a bad matchup because Virginia didn't get to practice for a fucking week.
Hey man, they're fresh legs.
Anyone's a bad matchup for Virginia.
Second round, Oregon had fresh legs against Iowa.
Oh, but Loyola, Chicago, Illinois in the second round. The in-state's no bueno there. And then even though they lost and they missed the cover by a half point. Liberty was a bad matchup for Oklahoma State. I will go down with that, even though I need to wear the jersey whenever it gets here. It's not here yet. That's why I'm not wearing it.
It comes in Friday or something?
Something like that.
You got to wear it for a month.
I'm happy to do it. Go Flames. Go Falwells. All right. I'm a flamer.
You are a flamer. I'm excited. I'm just excited for Coops Beeves making it to the Sweet 16. Kind of just running this hot rot. Like, I don't know what. Like, nobody expected this.
In my notes. So I have for Oral Roberts.
Pac-12 champs.
In my notes.
Conference of champions.
They're not Pac-12 champs. They're Pac-12 tournament champs. They didn't win the conference. Regular season is the conference title.
During COVID, is it though?
Yes. Even more so. Teams were dropping out of the tournament. In my notes, though, I have like Oral Roberts with Ohio State, Florida, like talking about 3-point defense, and I listed their players' names. In the Abilene Christian over Texas notes, they talk about the turnovers and shit like that. They forced 23 turnovers on Texas. That came to fruition. With Oregon State over Tennessee and Oklahoma State, I just wrote, I have no fucking idea what's going on. I have no fucking idea what's going on. They're not good.
No.
You watch them, and you're not. It's not like when you watch Oregon.
No, it is one of those teams that muck it up, though. Right? It's that Maryland. It's like West Coast Maryland.
Yeah. That's a good comp. And we put a little more value on Maryland's got a better basketball history, so that's probably another reason we put a little more value on Maryland, aside from the East Coast bias.
Hold on, man, dude. Obama's brother-in-law or whatever was the coach of Oregon State for a second. Was.
Now it's a man named Wayne Tinkle.
Which is way cooler.
Wayne Tinkle. I actually wish it was Wayne Tinkle who was Obama's brother-in-law, because Michelle Tinkle would be a funny Like Tinkle would be a funny maiden name for Michelle Obama.
Right.
But yeah, Wayne Tinkle is the coach of Oregon State. That name is like, it's like a porn name, but a terrible porn name.
And like I totally get if this was the regular season and they went on a run like at home in Corvallis, because Corvallis is just a weird place.
Shitty place to travel to, I assume.
But who knew? I mean, Indiana, like they would just kind of like rev everything up.
Dude, I don't get it. I don't know.
I mean, they beat Rick Barnes. You beat a very...
Tennessee was both soft and inconsistent, and they played so much of the year like they just didn't care.
That seems like a Rick Barnes team, though, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like
yeah.
Classic Rick Barnes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Never get any, like... Pretty much you're just juicing everything, but you're instead of it actually going into a glass, it's just going right into the sink. Yeah. And then he just kind of gets the pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. So I didn't get to watch the Tennessee game because that was first round. There were a million games going on. But I did watch the Oklahoma State-Oregon State game. And that game didn't make any fucking sense to me because every time Oklahoma State, their guards in particular, put pressure on Oregon State's guards, Oregon State looked fucking scared and like they had never played basketball before.
Yeah, no, and there was a point where they got to what, 70 to 67?
Yeah, they got within 3 points. And by the way, that was the same thing Oklahoma State did to Liberty.
And that kid hit a few shots where I'm like, all right, this is
yeah,
kind of where it turns. And no, Oklahoma State or Oregon State never get.
It's because Oklahoma State kept taking their foot off the gas. They didn't, on defense in particular.
Which they've done all year where it's like they kind of play to the competition.
Yes, 100%. They were a play to the competition.
Because they had a bunch of like top 25 wins.
But they were pretty much only playing against top 25 teams.
But then they would lose to like TCU.
Yeah. But like you're going, even if you're a mediocre team and you're in a conference as good as the Big 12, like or Purdue in the Big 10, you're going to get some good wins.
Yeah.
Just on fucking accident.
Right. And you know how pumped we were for that Sweet 16 matchup between Illinois and Oklahoma State? We're like, oh, shit.
Only you were pumped for that.
Cade versus Io.
I was fade Cade from the beginning.
Whatever. Now we get Oregon State versus fucking Sister Jean.
And Loyola's going to shit pump Oregon State.
Yeah. I have bowed down
to Sister Jean.
To Lady Jean.
Do you believe that she is a tool of the Almighty now? She is both a centenarian and
I believe,
and a real nun.
At this point, I believe she has some dark magic going her way.
So we're still on witch.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of been in this camp.
Well, will she be
crisis actor, witch? It doesn't really matter.
Will she be?
She could be a crisis actor who is also a witch.
Will she be? Will she have trouble fucking with Oregon State? Since Oregon State is black and orange, Halloween color.
Halloween colors.
Yeah.
She might be a little confused.
Torn.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah.
But no, she'll always go. She could use her powers for anything, and she chooses to solely focus on Loyola Chicago basketball.
Yep. Cancer.
It's pretty selfish. Selfish.
She loves basketball, not kids without cancer.
Right. She could cure cancer. Yep. She could cure world hunger.
Yep. Yeah.
She could pretty much do anything. She could fix the Middle East. But no, she chooses to have Krutwig just dominate.
Do you think when Sister Jean dies, Krutwig will lose his ability to read?
Probably breathe.
Because he looks like he can't read.
He looks like he can barely. He like has to focus on breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when she finally dies,
I can relate to because I have to always think like.
I'm not a great breather either. It's as we all know.
Yeah. You got called out for it earlier, but we know. Krutwig, by the way, is all-time bad face team, but I love it.
I love his. I said later. I'll save the line for later, but I have a line about Krutwig. There's also Purdue and North Texas, which I just don't give a shit about and don't even want to talk about because I don't care about either of those teams.
I think you just don't want to give any credit to Villanova, right?
Credit where credit's due. Especially
everyone faded. I told you everyone's gonna be in the 12-5 matchup. They're gonna take Winthrop. It's like Villanova's not losing Winthrop.
Credit to Villanova. especially over Winthrop, more so than North Texas, because I think Winthrop is a better team than North Texas.
North Texas sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know how they beat Purdue.
Because
either.
Purdue sucks.
Purdue did not suck.
Purdue was not that good.
Purdue was fine.
They were fine.
They were
fine.
young.
Yeah.
They were young.
They were fine.
I'm buying stock in Purdue for next year.
Yeah. Richard Janoff says Sister Jean can get it. So, yeah.
Does she give you her magical powers?
She puts on the hot chick necklace from Game of Thrones.
Right. But do I absorb her power?
No. Did fucking, what's his name? Did Stannis Baratheon? No.
Clearly not.
But she might smoke monster a motherfucker for you.
Out of her JJ?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She might shoot an armed man out of her vagina.
She probably already has. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's actually why Io had such a bad game.
Yeah, but it wasn't. She didn't kill Io, obviously, but there was a smoke man that came out of Sister Jean's pussy, just tipping shots.
It's more
just a little bit, so Io couldn't hit.
It's more. Yeah. It's more tame.
Yeah.
Than Game of Thrones. It's more Space Jam, where she just takes their powers and puts it into a basketball.
Okay, so her pussy's not involved.
So Kofi actually had his powers absorbed, and Krutwig it's just transferred to Krutwig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Sister Jean actually, she is the alien from Space Jam.
So Krutwig's going to go back to being a lumberjack that everyone wants to fire, but he's the boss's son or something.
No, he doesn't even have that.
He just looks like a goon. That's all I'm trying to say.
I get that.
Yeah.
But his dad definitely does not own the lumber mill. This dude, he's you don't really understand how he got a job there to begin with. You don't know his backstory. He doesn't talk a whole lot. Goes back to his trailer.
Yeah.
Doesn't really interact with a whole lot of folks. There's some wood chippers that go off late at night that you kind of question.
Yeah.
I get more of a Fargo
Some
vibe.
empty cans of Milwaukee's Best laying around.
Yeah, that big fucking goon with a Buscemi.
Fargo,
that's the more vibe I get.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Next up, upsets that actually weren't upsets. Syracuse over San Diego State and West Virginia.
I'll argue this now. Looking into the analytics, I would say Illinois.
Yeah.
V. Sister Jean. I think Sister Jean and her squad was actually the better team. I think they played that game. If you play that game 100 times, I think Loyola Chicago probably wins 90.
You think 90?
Yeah.
I definitely agree over 50%, maybe 60, 70.
They led the entire game. They dominated them.
Yeah.
It was, I'm buying Loyola stock.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, too, that we kind of got, I guess you could say, blinded by because Io and Kofi and Curbelo and everybody on, Frazier, everybody on Illinois' team is so fucking fun. One thing we got blinded to is that Brad Underwood is a sketchy coach.
Yeah.
It's in terms of ability. Illinois fans low-key fucking hate Brad Underwood. They don't like his in-game coaching.
This is more your avenue as a Mizzou fan because you guys have this weird rivalry with Illinois for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but
We're neighbors.
Yeah.
We play a game every Christmas in St. Louis. Bragging rights, baby. Bush bragging rights.
yeah, but I just
So I am, but
I'd never consider Mizzou a rival.
Well, it's weird. So in St. Louis, Illinois is one of the main teams they cover for football and basketball.
Okay.
In the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Champaign is, I think, maybe closer to St. Louis than it is Chicago.
Maybe, cover your Billikens.
They do. This is the three. They cover the Billikens too. But Billikens haven't been. They've been okay.
Hey man, they were a substitute team.
Yeah, they were taxi squad team.
I guess that just didn't happen because Oregon didn't have to play a game. Why didn't somebody get the call? I guess
it was too late.
There's a deadline.
Yeah,
Right?
But you don't. What about Syracuse though? Was Syracuse an upset?
No.
So Syracuse definitely was not an upset over San Diego State. No. Were they an upset over West Virginia?
Probably not. That game could happen over and over again. McNeil single-handedly kept West Virginia in the game.
Yeah.
Just kind of matching buddy with just shots from the logo. We're at 35-footers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think Syracuse, they run that stupid fucking zone. College players shit their pants because they haven't played against the zone since third grade.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. And yeah, I fucking Syracuse and Buddy Bucket and that entire squad can just make it rain threes.
Here's my thing now, at this point, having watched so many tournaments, watching teams and I know Virginia lost was the first one to lose to a 16, but you watched Virginia win, You watch Syracuse always go deep. You watch a lot of these teams that aren't getting the 5 stars like Kentucky and Duke and shit like that. And like most of the teams, or at least a good chunk of the teams that go deep every year, they run some weirdo fucking system. The last time Missouri made a deep run, they were running the fucking 40 minutes of hell. Should more teams adopt some weirdo system?
No, it's gimmicky. Doesn't win you natties. It gets you a little further than most. Yeah, if you're like a
should non-P5s be running wild ass systems?
If you're a mid-major, we talked about this I think with college football, college basketball, whatever, like run a weird system to get the most out of your talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're a mid-major, you should pretty much, I don't know, you should either have 3 7-footers on your team or be chucking threes.
Only shoot threes.
Yeah.
You pretty much run Alabama's offense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, again, Alabama could also, like, that's a team that could make a deep run here solely off shooting, but they could also lose next round. Like, it's
if you go cold.
Because all they do is shoot threes.
Yeah. If you go cold, you never know. But like Virginia, that's a Power 5 team that runs their weirdo, and we're kind of seeing it. Like pack line teams are starting to do a little bit of work in the tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, so are these teams that are shooting threes. So it's like,
right. Well, a lot of these teams
like,
are 3 and D. They're 3 and pack line.
Right. It's like either chuck threes or go super old school.
Yeah.
So super new school versus super old school. Yeah, yeah.
Also, I guess the 3-pointer kind of plays into the pack line scheme because you want everyone to get back pretty much after your first shot. Mm-hmm. So all 5 are back there on defense. You're not going to let transition points up ever. So keep everyone around the fucking perimeter, basically.
Mm-hmm. And not Iowa's defense.
Right, yeah. Well, what the fuck is that?
That was fun. Like Iowa was like, "Hey, we're gonna run this whole game," and Oregon's like, "Yeah, no, we're good with that.
Yeah, we're fine.
We're fine with that. We are way more athletic."
That's the craziest part. So we'll talk about that one. We'll skip the other 2. We'll come back to them. We'll talk about that one. Yeah. How the fuck does Iowa want to run with a team like Oregon when one of their players is Luka Garza, who is an ent, who is a fucking tree person?
Well, he looked, by the end of the game, he was looking like he had cinder blocks on his feet. He had 36. There was 3 starters on Iowa at 0 points. What did he contribute, guys?
0 points. Frederick, Bohannon, I forget the other one. 0 fucking points. That is goddamn crazy. Credit to Garza, though. He looked exhausted the whole time, but it was an efficient 36 points. Unlike Cade Cunningham.
He rolled his ankle at one point.
Yeah, Cade dumped it in the second game against Oregon State. Wildly inefficient amount of points that he put in. No, it was real bad.
Some weird tension with you and Cade.
I don't like Cade.
You like Luka Garza, but you don't like Cade. Why?
If this is a racial thing, I think they have the same skin tone. To be quite honest, they're just like 1 degree off. No, it's not. I loved Io. All right, so I don't want to hear. I loved Io. I'm gonna miss Io. I like Io better than Kurtwig. Good lord, Krutwig, whatever.
He didn't do himself any favors though when he took those Kobe photos after the Big Ten championship.
No. But Cade was inefficient.
You gotta wait to do those for the Natty. You can't be doing that with a Big Ten tournament title.
No, it's like Dwayne Haskins taking pictures on the sideline and not being able to get on the field.
Yeah, which by the way, shouts to the Big Ten. You are down in Michigan, so
yeah, Big Ten has gotten.
So what excuses do we come up with for the Big Ten?
Nothing.
They stayed in Indiana too long.
Right.
Big Ten tournament was in Indiana, so you don't want to spend too much time in Indiana.
That's fair.
These guys were just like, hey, I'd rather get on with my life. If that means we have to lose, we'll lose. I don't want to stay another second in Indianapolis.
Yep. One of the Iowa players on March 10th tweeted, "Does anyone know how to pack for a 29-day trip?" Meaning, winning it all.
Right.
And not a concern of his anymore.
The conference beat each other up during the regular season.
Them and the Big 12 both beat each other up the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. Let's make excuses for them.
Yeah. I still think they were the Big 10 in particular was the best conference. It's just they did get some shitty matchups. First, there's no excuse for Ohio State to lose, but that was a shitty matchup.
Just matchups.
Just matchups.
They just caught the wrong teams.
Ohio State No, Ohio State has no excuse. Illinois did catch the wrong team. Loyola was way underseeded.
Yeah. Loyola being a 9 seed is
8. They were the 8.
They're an 8, whatever. Either
Either or.
Either or. It doesn't matter. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah. That was insane.
Yeah.
Going in. And that's the fucking crazy thing is a bunch of other teams, like my Tigers, for example, got fucking dinged by the committee on their analytical rankings. Okay? So this is another sketchy thing the committee did. A lot of teams got seeded basically on analytics alone, on the net.
Who's on this committee? Who do we have to blame? Is it Condoleezza Rice?
We don't have really a fact checker, and I'm not going to make Coop look up who's on the fucking committee.
Coop, who's on this committee, man? It's fine. We got.
Yeah, it's all good. But then a Loyola, who had fucking sky high analytical rankings, is in the 8 line. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
So that Big Ten team got fucked.
Majors, yeah.
I'm trying to think who else in the Big Ten lost like early and just looked like shit or whatever.
Everyone. Literally every Big Ten team has lost except Michigan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wisconsin wasn't that good. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Well, our Michigan men are still powering through.
So
without Isaiah Livers.
Speaking of, I mean, props to Michigan. To be fair, with Livers, like obviously he's an elite player and everything. At this point, because it's the tournament and everything, A, Michigan's really deep, and B, he's not a guard.
Okay, so let's just kind of pivot here. Let me throw a hypothetical your way.
Okay.
Of the 16 teams, how many teams can win the national championship right now?
Let me look at the bracket, but I'll call it 5. I'll be
Gonzaga, obviously. Baylor.
Baylor. I'll stay with Michigan.
Okay. Michigan has the power. You think firepower to win it all?
Yeah, I'll say Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan. Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Loyola.
I don't want to admit that. But
and then
there's some other things, obviously, other than basketball going on.
All right, I'll go 6. Gonzaga. I actually will go 6. Gonzaga, Baylor. We're going to talk about this in a little bit, but Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, Arkansas.
Ooh. You're coming around to my Razorbacks.
Huh? Loyola. Okay. And there's one other.
Is it the winner of USC at Oregon?
No.
Oh, wow.
Was it Gonzaga? Sorry, fuck, I'm drunk. Gonzaga, Baylor. I do think Houston still had. Do think Houston still can.
No,
yeah. I think Houston.
Houston's getting bounced by Syracuse.
Yeah.
So
Dan Aguilera says, let Coop talk.
Coop. I know. Coop has more experience. Like, clearly his bracket's doing better than ours. Yeah. He's got Oregon State winning it all.
Dan Aguilera also says, you guys are smart when it comes to college basketball, but this is as entertaining as women's middle school basketball. I'll tell you what. Dan, send me your phone number, and you can still listen to this, but I'll just FaceTime you my dick for the next until the show's over. I'll take my dick out on the table so it's not on YouTube, but you can just look at my fucking cock, my soft, gross-looking cock, until this podcast is over.
Well,
and by the way,
really
my wife is pregnant.
Option?
My wife is pregnant, and I haven't fucked her since December, so my pubes are out of fucking control. So, and I will give you, it's going to be a fucking, what do you call it? A shot, like, you know how, like, through the trees or whatever? Through the pubes, Dan. Through the pubes, you'll see my fucking dick and everything. Perspective shot. Through the fucking pubes.
You do anything with the pubes? Kind of like maybe break
like
them?
a fucking you can a race, not a racetrack. What do you call it? A landing strip.
You can do that with Manscaped.
I guess I could do a racetrack too.
Yeah. Just kind of trim it up with the Manscaped.
Everyone's all in on me just FaceTiming my dick now. If it's under the table, so it's fine. The next time someone really, really, really wants to go in on this show, just send me your number and you can just look at my fucking cock the whole fucking time while you're listening to my voice. Through the pubes.
That should be the title of your memoir.
Through the pubes?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I was born in the 80s, so I almost certainly entered this world through pubes. Right?
Yeah, because obviously all classic porn has taught us.
I wonder
that women have just pubes until about the 2000s.
I'm going to text my wife real quick and ask if she's going to shave for birth.
Isn't she going to shit herself too?
Yeah, they all shit themselves.
Okay. So just a lot comes out at the same time. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to see your wife shit herself?
She says I have to stand at the top of the bed so I don't see the shit come out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't get to see the baby slide into shit.
What if you kind of just go, lock eyes with her as she does it, and then you also shit yourself?
I'm not going to shit myself. I'm not going to shit myself watching the baby born, but I guarantee you I'm going to accidentally get like a little bit drunk the day the baby's born because like my in-laws and father are going to give me cigars and maybe like, we'll just have one scotch like to celebrate. And then I'm going to have fucking 8 scotches.
Well, it is Wednesday and you're already a few drinks deep. I think we have to address your drinking problem.
I don't have a drinking problem.
Okay.
I work for drinking bros.
It's true.
What am I supposed to do? Be sober like
they're
you?
Bros that drink.
You little bitch. Can't be sober.
So I'm going to hit legs today.
Dan, I won't shave my wife. And also, she hasn't responded yet, so that's unfortunate. But I'll let you guys know if my wife's going to shave for the birth. And I really hope her parents aren't watching this. But anyway, let's talk about how the Pac-12 is king while I wait for my wife's answer on that question.
West Coast bias, baby.
West Coast bias is where we're at now. USC fucking dad-dicked Kansas.
How enjoyable was that for you?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Even though I picked Kansas, I fucking loved it.
Doesn't matter. You're a Mizzou guy.
That is Kansas's worst loss in tournament history, and it's one of the worst losses outside of the first round in tournament history.
I know. Now Mobley's being talked about as the first overall pick.
Yeah. I don't trust USC that much still. Is that weird?
No, I still love USC. I love Oregon, so it's like
We just love Oregon more.
they got to. I don't know. I'm worried.
I think Oregon's got the better starting 5.
Yes. Probably fresher. They've only played one game.
I think they're better too. I
Although
just think they are
USC,
better.
their starters sat out the entire second half, so it's like they don't have to really do anything.
Yeah, that's fucking fair. I don't know. I want to say there was USC, by the way. Speaking of Pac-12 West Coast bias, USC is now ranked 6th in KenPom. Mm-hmm. KenPom's stats have just like shot up through the ass of Pac-12 teams, and they're all about them now.
It's
But that'll happen when you're USC and you shoot 61% from 3.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. So much for that Kansas defense.
That's pretty good. Yeah, they do pretty well defending the 3, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Big 12 and the Big 10 were actually the bubble, the true bubble.
Maybe they were. So we didn't overrate, even though they lost in the first round. We didn't overrate teams like Ohio State, and we didn't overrate teams like Illinois. What we did overrate is teams like Purdue and Wisconsin.
And when they beat each other up, it was a good loss, right?
Right.
But when the Pac-12 did it, it was like,
yeah.
Which
they all fucking suck.
See, the Pac-12 does this all the time. Football, basketball, it doesn't matter. Every team's at least competent enough to beat the other team.
Yeah.
Especially in football.
Yeah.
So, like, the Pac-12 gets no love.
Well, that's what we thought about the SEC in basketball this year. That's what I thought about them. I was like, look, I watch these teams play, and then I go watch the Big Ten, and it feels like the Big Ten's way better. So the SEC beating themselves up, they're all mediocre. Big Ten beating themselves up, they're all good. But maybe just across the board, they're all kind of relatively. They're in a much closer range than we thought.
And also, who's getting better athletes? California or kids in the Midwest?
Yeah, you would think California, but no, actually, I think the Midwest is getting better athletes.
Well, no. I think it's being proven that, the Cali kids can hold their own.
Doesn't Remy Martin shoot threes from his dick? Doesn't he shoot it from his waistline?
No, he shoots it from his head. But maybe that was the problem. We overrated Arizona State going into the season.
Yeah.
And everyone dismissed the Pac-12 because Arizona State sucked.
Yeah.
Arizona was fine. They just kind of had the self-imposed tournament ban because of Sean Miller.
It's the time to do it.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe Arizona could.
Yeah, fucking seriously. I don't disagree with that. Hold on, my wife is texting me back, so I gotta ask her. So just fill air for 30 seconds while I ask my wife if she's gonna shave her pussy for birth.
So I've talked myself into Oregon making a deep run. I actually think they beat USC. Winner of USC Oregon, I think actually beats Gonzaga. I've now talked myself into that. No, I'm just going completely over your head. You can't do more than one thing at a time.
Not at the present.
No, I get it. Coop, what are your thoughts on whether or not his wife should shave her pussy for childbirth?
So she texted back, ... what? And I said, will it be clean? Will you clean it up for the doctors?
Are you going to eat the placenta? Like, there's a lot of good stem cells in that.
Yo, obviously.
It might de-age you because, I mean,
Yes, that's why I'm eating it.
You've looked the same age for about 10 years now.
Yeah, probably.
But not like in a good way.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You just looked older when you were younger.
I don't think that's true, actually, at all.
Like very Benjamin Button-y.
I don't think that's even close to accurate. She says she got laser, so there's honestly not much going on down there.
I've said this before, but you look like a kid that took Accutane as a child.
I didn't.
That gets you, Coop? Okay.
I didn't take Accutane as a child. Yeah, no, she's lasered, actually. I forgot about that, so she's mostly good down there anyway.
Okay. Well, if
There might be some stubble.
if she needs to like get a cleanup, my girlfriend actually does that. She lasers pussies.
Oh, tight.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel okay doing this because my wife is like, I support you in like your creative endeavors and everything, but like, I'm sorry, but I just never have time to listen to them.
Oh, that's fine.
So
No,
this is her.
I wouldn't listen to us either.
Yeah. Oh, I don't listen to us. I don't go back and I'm like, how does it sound? So yeah. So my
What kind of
wife.
psychopath listens to their own podcast.
No, that's fucking weird. Yeah. So my wife doesn't listen to this, so she'll never.
You're in the
she'll
car.
never ever find out that I'm talking about
Her right now. Yeah.
and how hairy her vagina will
I
be.
only put on the podcast once, if I'm single and I go on a fresh date and it's a first date and just kind of crank that up when she gets in the car and she's like, who is this? I'm like, oh, it's me.
That's fair. That's fair. And you're like, yeah, I'm on the radio. So you want to hear a funny side story real quick? The last chick that I hooked up with, was regularly hooking up with before my wife. Do you remember that CNN spot I did for TFM? Mm-hmm. She was we had fucked a couple times and she was, but we weren't dating or anything. And she was at home one day, on a weekday, because she worked irregular hours. She wasn't a waitress or anything, but she just worked irregular hours because she was an interior designer. She was at home one day.
Say her name, dude.
And no, I won't.
Say her name.
And for whatever reason, I'm absolutely not doing that. I actually don't remember her last name, but I know her first name, but I'm not going to do that either. But she was at home one day and was watching just dumb shit on Comedy Central or something. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to feel like I should be a productive person. I'm going to put on the news. Even though putting on cable news doesn't make you a productive person at all. It makes you probably the opposite. But she put on cable news, she put on CNN, and within 5 minutes of her turning that on, she told me this that night. She was like, so I turned on CNN today, and 5 minutes into it, you showed up on CNN talking about frat hazing or frat. Oh, it was the OU, the idiots at OU, SAEOU doing that dog
chant,
shit,
yeah.
racist chant. Yeah. And she was like, I was just sitting there being like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Why is Rob defending the kids at OU?
Right. I didn't defend them, actually. I said they were shitty. I said they were shitty kids.
That's big of you.
It's
crazy take.
I'm a good person.
That's debatable.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Which high seeds do you think are looking good right now?
All right, so this always confuses me, right? When you say high seeds, is it like one or is it higher?
I'm going 1 through 6.
Okay, so I think that means low seed, right?
Oh, yeah. That means high seed. No, those are high seeds.
Okay, so Gonzaga's a high seed.
Oh, and Krager's, I can't give you the initials because, again, I don't remember the last name, and I'm not going to give you the first initial. She's a nice person. Not going to do it. She's cool. I like her. It was just a funny story.
This is I've always had this how there's that podcast Guys We Fuck.
Yeah.
And just they just interview people they had relations with
Sex
or whatever.
with, yeah.
Or they list and kind of go through it. It'd be kind of funny if there was a guy or a Girls We Fucked podcast. But it's just it's two guys going back and forth that are incels. And they just have no names.
What about chicks we didn't fuck?
Well, yeah,
but for incels.
That's right on the
but for
nose.
incels.
Yeah,
or chicks that wouldn't fuck us, but for incels.
That's right on the nose. It's just girls we fucked and it's nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. Yeah, Crackers, I can't give initials. Anyway, go on. What were you saying?
So you said high seeds that look good. Obviously, Gonzaga looks great.
But I mean looking good both currently and moving forward.
Gonzaga's winning the national championship. I am just convincing myself that Oregon has the ability to both beat USC, who is super hot right now, looking so good, and then Gonzaga.
But you were admonishing us for being too cute.
I know, but I only have one team left in my Calcutta, Rob.
I know.
So I have to play these mental gymnastics in my head that I still have a chance to make my money back and then some. But no, Gonzaga's winning it all. They'll probably play Baylor.
They looked like a machine against Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I think I hate to say this, but I think Syracuse is going to make the Final Four.
I think Loyola, Chicago.
Well, they'll play each other like in the Elite Eight.
Yes.
So the winner of that.
Loyola's going to body Oregon State. That's not even me close. It's a 6-point spread right now, or maybe 6.5.
I don't know. Coop's got some magic himself here, so.
Coop, fuck your magic. I already put money on Loyola.
Coop,
stay out of your Coop. Your magic is depriving my child of food.
It's out of his hands.
God damn it.
He has already offered up a beaver in sacrifice.
Shit.
So, I mean, put some money on the Bees right now because Coop's got his own magic.
That's fair.
But we'll see who actually is the real witch. Is it Coop or is it Sister Jean? And we'll know Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll
It's
know
witch
Saturday.
versus warlock here.
Yeah.
Coop has a warlock vibe.
He really does. He's got that stash.
Yeah. I believe that.
He's got some weird tats.
Baylor, like you said, hasn't played anyone that great so far, but they looked mean.
We're playing Villanova now, so
I think they're going to wreck Villanova.
we'll actually see what Villanova's made of.
Right.
They're starting to figure some things out. Two good teams to figure it out against, North Texas.
I think
Winthrop.
Baylor's going to fuck them up.
Villanova's got some size that Baylor doesn't want. I mean, Baylor's going to have the advantage with their guard. The guard play, obviously. But
Baylor's got an inside presence, though. It's not like Ohio State where E.J. Liddell's 6'7" with short arms.
all I'm saying is, Jay Wright versus Scott Drew.
I think Baylor's all right.
One
I think
man
Baylor's
has
gonna be
never
okay.
made the Final Four. The other has 2 titles in the last 10 years, which you guys forgot.
Who do you think looks more merciless, Arkansas or Bama?
Bama's kind of Bama looks great. Arkansas is kind of, shit away a few leads.
Yeah.
And they've kind of had to get their shit together late. Bama looks like a more of a machine right now because they just don't miss threes. But, one of these games, they will.
Right.
Arkansas, I think, is built to endure.
Who do you think is the better coach?
Nate Oates or the Musbus?
Yeah.
Probably.
I know you like the Musbus.
I like Musselman. Right now I'd say Musselman.
Okay.
And I think they actually have a better team, just all-around team.
Really?
Yeah,
You talking about Bama, the tournament and regular season champs?
that's fine.
And I know Arkansas was a little handicapped by Smith missing a game or two.
But, Justin Smith, Moses Moody, Note, that whole team, Tate, they're just there's a lot of they're just built right.
They got dudes.
They got dudes.
They got guys.
Guys being dudes.
Yeah.
What's better than that?
Nothing.
So yeah, I'm a Razorback fan for the rest of. It might be the only Final Four team that I have in my original bracket. Texas, Illinois.
I'll say this: I want Baylor to beat Villanova because at this point my bracket's fucked. I'm not going to win any brackets. Baylor needs to beat Villanova for the reason that you cited that you hate underdogs, Cinderellas for. I think Baylor-Arkansas is going to be maybe the best game of the whole tournament if they play.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
One of top 3, top 4.
Yeah, I want to see that because then we're going to be subjected to fucking Loyola versus Syracuse. That game's it'll be fine.
It's going to be a rock fight, though.
They can both kind of dump it in.
But they both play good defense.
Then we're going to probably get Oregon Gonzaga. That'll be a good game.
That'll be fun.
That'll be a real fun game. That'll be the first game Gonzaga's actually probably tested.
In a long time, yeah, for sure.
And then, what's that bottom bracket still? Who do we have?
Michigan, Florida State, Bama.
Ooh, yeah. So Michigan, Florida State's this weekend?
Yeah.
Or no? Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's Bama and who's left? I can't even remember. Bama, UCLA. Bama's gonna fucking rail UCLA.
I'm not so sure about that.
UCLA fucking sucks.
I don't think they do.
Yeah, UCLA sucks.
No.
I will short the Pac-12 on that one. The Pac-12, we did underrate the Pac-12. What sucks is the two teams that actually deserve credit
are playing each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're knocking each other out.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I like Mick Cronin. Mick Cronin's a great coach.
He is. He doesn't have his full...
Super LA vibes for Mick Cronin.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Mick Cronin is an elf. He is an elf boy. But I do like him.
It is definitely the definition of a square peg in a round hole with Mick Cronin at UCLA. The fit just doesn't seem right.
I think once he gets all his guys in there, it'll be good.
Gotta get your guys in there. You know?
They got a really inconsistent Michigan State team in the first round.
I'm just talking about his personality for Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It's just not.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
He's not an LA guy.
Who is?
If we go college coaches right now,
Yeah.
I mean, Calipari would
Dude.
fit the
I honestly, why'd he go to Kentucky instead of UCLA?
right. Like Calipari would.
He would have
crush in
never
LA right now.
stopped in UCLA.
No,
Jesus Christ.
way easier.
Hey, you want to be a basketball and a movie star? You want to literally be friends with rappers? Do you know how many fucking
UCLA would probably let him coach the Lakers?
Do you know how many? Yeah. Do you know how many fucking? Do you know how many famous people would be friends with UCLA players if UCLA was constantly as good as Kentucky was under Calipari?
Right? He would have that whole obviously he doesn't care about winning basketball games anymore. He only cares about getting his guys to the NBA.
Yeah.
And I mean, what better way to get recruits than just having that LA connection?
Do you think there are any high seeds with problems?
Well, Bama, if they go cold. But who are they playing again?
They're playing UCLA.
Yeah, I don't know. Not really. I think this is the point of the tournament where shit goes chalk for the most part.
That's what I said initially but I think to an extent, yeah, it's going to be crazy the first 2 rounds and then it's going to get real chalk in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, if Oral Roberts keeps winning, I don't know what to do.
Right.
But at least they're entertaining. Like, they can score.
They shoot threes.
They shoot threes. They got 2 guys that can go off for 40 a game.
That's funny.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The worst is these mid-majors that can't score. Like, if Abilene Christian made it to the Final Four, that's awful.
Unless the only time, I mean, if you're a turnover team like Abilene Christian is, and you're just getting steals every other possession, that's entertaining. But you do need to score on the other end. You can't just only deprive a team of possessions and then try to I do worry for Houston. They are in what I now think is the toughest bracket.
Well, they should have lost to Rutgers. What the fuck was that?
Houston's going to have to take down Syracuse and then probably Loyola Chicago. I think they have the toughest path to the Final Four from here on out.
No.
Who has a tougher path than Houston?
I mean, Michigan, probably.
I don't think Florida State. I'm more worried about Syracuse in the tournament than I am Florida State.
Huh. It's interesting.
Based on history.
Yeah, but what about talent?
I think history is trumping talent right now, for Syracuse anyway. And also, Florida State's history is sketch as fuck. Florida State always gets almost there.
Yeah, this is the point where they kind of break off.
Yeah.
I'll probably have Michigan this weekend.
Are we going to get Michigan Bama? Is that randomly of all the fucking brackets to have a 1-2 in? That's the only fucking
Michigan
bracket
Bama.
we're going to have a 1-2 in?
Where nobody took the 1 or 2 seed?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Doesn't that make perfect sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. And where could they actually bet on these games, Rob?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you about gambling and where you can do it. It's at a really, really cool place. It's called MyBookie. My freaking bookie. If you didn't know about it. MyBookie.ag, MyBookie.com. Fun fact, AG is the Antigua.
Direct address.
Yeah, Canada's CA. You can go to .ag or .com, though. It doesn't matter.
A little redirect.
Yeah. But the important thing is March is here, and the madness has officially begun. It's time for you to shoot your shot and score big on nonstop action with MyBookie. Select the winners from 63 tournament games in the MyBookie bracket contest for a chance to win $10,000 in cash prizes, and it's only $1 to enter. It doesn't matter whether you're filling out your bracket or multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or simply looking for a player or game props. MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today at mybookie.ag and use promo code DRINKINBROS think you know how to spell that, to secure a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Drinkin' Bros to claim your first deposit bonus. College ball, NBA, and NHL, no matter the sport, no matter the minute, MyBookie puts the action in your hands with in-game live betting and with choices from thousands of lines and odds. You can turn any game day into a payday. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. In case you
play,
didn't know.
you win, you get paid.
Yeah, MyBookie
Don't be a
is the shit.
pussy. Bet with MyBookie.
Love MyBookie.
That's actually like word for word on the copy.
Thoughts?
Don't be a pussy.
Yeah. Thoughts moving forward. Who's your betting picks? You mean to read the lines?
No. Syracuse money line against Houston.
Hold on, let me get to the numbers here.
I got it at like 215. I think it might be down. It might be around. I don't know. Either way, the
Syracuse
line I
is
saw
at
was
210.
6. Okay, 210, and then it was +6
Or
for the line. Syracuse Houston.
yeah, +6.
All right.
I
don't
abstained.
Even don't need the points. Give me Syracuse money line plus
Yeah,
210.
I abstained from that game
Why?
because Houston's the type of team that'll fuck you.
They're beat up, man.
Houston will fuck you.
They're beat up.
Houston will fuck you.
No, they just got a lucky draw. We talked about how they pretty much got a cakewalk to the fucking Sweet 16. They should have lost to Rutgers. Rutgers fucking blows it.
Yeah.
Blows a 14-point lead with like 8 minutes left.
Let's just go down the games. I got the whole list here. Oregon State, Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago is a 6.5-point favorite.
Well, we know how I feel about Sister Jean. I'm going to go with our Warlock in-house. I'm going to go with Coop, Oregon State.
That is lost money. I bought a 0.5 point to take it to 6 just to get the push.
Care. I will burn money in front of Sister Jean's face. I don't care.
Take Loyola Chicago. This is a double-digit win. Oregon State goes cold. Loyola Chicago has like the 9th, maybe better defense than that now at this point. Oregon State's not good.
No,
Loyola Chicago is going to fuck them up.
They're running into a buzzsaw.
Oh, I'm sorry. Loyola Chicago now has the first-ranked defense in the country. Don't buy Oregon State at all. Villanova,
Can you say
Baylor.
one thing about Oregon State?
Yeah.
What can you say about them? Anything?
What, me?
Yeah, we have no. They are the unknown.
I don't know any. Like
I know nothing about Oregon State.
I watched them and I still don't know anything about them.
They muck it up. That's all I know.
The one thing I saw is the few times that, and it wasn't very often, but the few times that Oklahoma State decided that, hey, we have way better athletes than these fucking assholes.
Listen, my apologies.
Let's get aggressive.
My apologies to the people listening. I don't have some in-depth analysis about the Beavs. All I know is they just keep winning, and our boy Coop picked them to win the Natty. So
You going with them?
I'm just going with the Coop magic.
Yeah. Loyola Chicago by double dig. Loyola Chicago. Villanova Baylor. Baylor's a 7-point favorite.
That seems low, no? I think I thought that would be kind of double digits.
No, it's not. Feels like a double-digit win.
Yeah, Baylor probably wins it and covers. Villanova just doesn't have the talent this year. But, I mean, it's not about this year for Jay Wright.
Yeah.
You know? We're just building towards the future. We're getting more Italians in.
Right, you just don't have enough Italians right now.
No, we do have another Archidiacono, so he's getting minutes. We're building towards the future with him. He's coming off the bench. He had 0 points in the regular season. Had 6 points last game against North Texas.
Oral Roberts, Arkansas. Arkansas currently 11.5-point favorites.
So they already beat them. They are the better team. Hopefully they just don't run into the hot hand, you know? I think Arkansas wins. I
bought Arkansas up to 9.5 for that because I like the double-digit win, but that's a sketchy.
I would probably throw Arkansas into a money line parlay.
Yeah.
Where I would just, whatever. What is it? Minus like 1,400?
650.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's even better. Yeah. Minus 650. Put that in the parlay.
There you go. All right. Houston, Syracuse. Houston's a 6-point favorite.
Syracuse money line, I told you, plus 210.
Right.
Yeah.
Creighton, Gonzaga. Zags, 13-point favorite.
Man, the boys really rallied around the plantation comment, huh? Nothing really gets a team ramped up like dropping the hard P.
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't have beaten Santa Barbara. Still mad about that. Won the second round pretty handily against Ohio. Ohio didn't want that smoke.
Against a soft-ass Ohio
Ohio
team.
was pretty soft.
Yeah.
Man, Santa Barbara could have went to the Sweet 16. God damn it. No, Creighton has no chance.
So you like Zags to cover?
What's the line?
13.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Gonzaga by 30.
That's probably, honestly, Creighton's pretty fucking soft. Jaron Carter just, by the way, dropped into the chat, said, "What up, dirtbags? Damn, looking through the chat, I'm curious what I missed." Just a lot of pube and pussy and dick talk, pretty much.
Only about your wife, though.
Mostly, it was all about my wife's pussy and my dick, but not touching each other even. Just like different states of undress that our genitals are in.
Yeah, but once you're married, nobody wants to hear about that. You know,
You don't?
Whenever you try to give remember any guy that's married and talks about, oh man,
Dude, I
me and
fucked my wife.
No, I don't want to hear that.
Fuck my wife last night. You don't? But what if their wife is just like, what if it's like Dustin Johnson?
And Paulina?
Yeah.
No, because they're married. Or do
You don't want to hear
No,
about
actually,
it?
they're not married.
They're not?
They're engaged. They've been engaged for like 10 years.
That's weird.
And they got kids together.
That's weirder. What?
Maybe it's like they both have money, but I think Paulina might have more money because of Wayne.
Well, she has more money coming to her then. She doesn't have more money.
Well, yes, she's not making the money herself, but she has.
Hold on, actually, let me look this up real quick.
Yeah, no, I think that might be the deal. Although Wayne actually likes DJ. Like Wayne and DJ are boys. They like play golf all the time.
Of course he does.
But DJ's more of like he's like a.
So I mean, dude, Wayne Gretzky's net worth is $200 million, which is obviously huge, but not like bananas.
And
Paulina, Dustin's is already $50 million. So it's
that he probably made on the course.
no, just total net worth.
He does a lot of ads for a guy
Yeah.
who has like zero personality.
Just his net worth.
He's essentially Dustin Johnson is the family golden retriever.
Hey, Papa G's in here.
Yeah.
What's
Shouts to
up?
Papa G.
What's up? All right, we got 2 more lines real quick, then we'll get the fuck out of here. Or 3 more lines, sorry. Florida State, Michigan. Michigan's a 2.5-point favorite.
I think this is where Dickinson kind of gets beat up. I think Michigan kind of shows.
Florida State's so inconsistent, though, that I stayed away from this game.
I think Florida State just beats them up, though. I think.
You think they
give me
beat them?
give me Florida State money line.
All right, money line plus 125.
Yeah, I think they win this.
All
game.
right. UCLA, Bama. Bama is only a 6.5-point favorite. And I think they fucking wreck UCLA.
I'm gonna go with Mick. UCLA.
You going with the Mick?
Going with the Mick train.
Fuck. All right. Plus 215, money line.
The Mick is picking Mick.
All right. And then Oregon, USC. Oregon is a 2.5-point dog.
Do I hedge at this point? Do I just take USC to make money no matter what?
You might as well, right?
No, I believe in Oregon.
You believe in
wins
Oregon?
this game, yeah,
Oregon looks so fucking good. But man, Iowa makes people look good.
because they play no defense.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon played the best game of their
So
lives.
one thing that was sketchy to me, and I'll say this before we get out of here. So Oregon was running up and down the court with Iowa, right? Just athletic as fuck.
Yeah, but USC
Killing
has
them.
that.
Well, here's the other thing. Oregon doesn't usually play at that pace. They just were
They chose to.
They chose to because Iowa plays no defense.
Yeah. I mean, I trust Altman. Like, he's a great tournament coach.
Right.
Well coached, got a lot of talent. Yeah, give me Oregon.
They looked the
That's fine.
part. They looked
Yeah.
the part.
Although, what's the line on that game? Let me look.
2.5.
2.5. Oof.
They either win or they don't.
No, actually, Andy Enfield, I believe, is undefeated covering the spread in the tournament, going back to Florida Gulf Coast.
Really?
Yes. So Oregon wins by 1. USC covers.
No. Oregon's 2.5-point dogs.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Oregon.
Okay.
Oregon wins outright, but that scares me that Andy Enfield's never lost against the spread in the tournament.
Yeah. 3 points, gets down to some bullshit
He's
fouling.
due. He's due.
Damn right he's due.
He's due.
All right, that's it for us, you guys. Please, as always, send this to your friends. Like and subscribe our YouTube and obviously on iTunes and Spotify, all that shit. And join the Drinking Bros Sports Facebook page if you haven't already. we are doing a fantasy baseball league this year. Obviously, the bracket that we did is already like in full swing, but we're doing fantasy baseball leagues for everybody who wants to do one. We've got about 60 players. We're in about 6 leagues right now. There's a shit ton of people in it, and you play against me, you play against Dan Holloway, and a couple other drinking bros from the company. And we got some cool shit coming into a store. Do you remember what the store was? Just check our Instagram.
I think it's on the website.
Yeah, check our website, check the Instagram.
Yeah.
We have some funny, like, cool shirts coming to that. Obviously, if you want to keep gambling, do it on MyBookie. When we talk about these lines and shit like that, MyBookie is the place to damn do it. Any state, doesn't matter. You can gamble on MyBookie. And you can check out me and Dan if you like our voices, which, maybe you do, probably not. But
even if you don't, go ahead and check it out.
If you don't like our voices, whatever. You can check out our history show, Softcore History. Search that on iTunes or whatever, wherever you like
iTunes,
to catch
Spotify,
podcasts.
wherever you can hear podcasts. It's also on the Drinking Bros History channel on YouTube. That includes Iconoblast, our boy Coop over there at the producer desk. He has a show with another one of our coworkers, Joel.
Boys, Joel. Joel hasn't made a lot of camera appearances yet.
No, he hasn't. He's just on Iconoblast.
Yeah.
Although they just did a deep dive on John Lennon with Jesse Wiseman. So go ahead and check that out. That was funny.
Yes, 100%. You can check all that out. And obviously, we'll see you pretty much every day like we always do. Tomorrow, we have our Major League Baseball preview show. And I believe that is with myself, obviously, and Dan Holloway.
I'll probably chime in as a producer about my knowledge of
the Phillies.
Well, my knowledge of baseball goes back to I haven't really kept up since 2013.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll add some useful insight.
Deep insight. Yeah. But yeah, that's me, Holloway, as well as Ben Verlander, and what's the sports science guy's name? I totally forgot.
Brinkus.
Yeah, John Brinkus. So yeah, it'd be a good MLB sports show tomorrow. That will be at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. At least that's what our calendar says. It might be a few minutes late, just depending on all Zoom fucking sucks and all that shit. So it might be a few minutes late on that. But tomorrow is our huge, big MLB preview show for the year, and we're doing the fantasy baseball drafts right now. Are scheduled for the 29th and 30th. We try to do as close to the season as possible. MLB season starts on the 1st. So there's a thread on the Drinking Bros Sports Facebook channel or Facebook group. If you want to get in on that at the last second, cutoff for that will be March 29th. But anyway, thank you guys for listening and watching. Sorry to my wife for everything that happened today. Not that she'll ever hear it. And we'll catch you guys later.
And go Ducks.